Okay, Friday, April 28th, 2023. That's my personal journal. So I have another YouTube channel for my company, Restack, and I'll drop a link below. So I'm doing stuff more talking about company-related topics, and then this is like my personal journal, and I just sneak it in. Usually walking from the gym, but today I'm just coming back from EPAM. I met my old colleague and former manager there to see what was up and everything. I sort of miss it, I miss the corporate work in that sense. Like EPAM is a lot like BlackRock, it had a very fast-paced, intense environment. But EPAM is like a consulting model. You bill out to a project, and you're always trying to look for new opportunities. Well, this is interesting. It's like every time you walk in Ukraine, you just see stuff out of the blue, behind the fence. There's a lot of fences, and you see there's like inside that door there, it's a little bit hard to see on the camera. It looks like there's like some small factory in there or something. I don't know. You always, see on this side of the street, it's just houses, and then here is like some big concrete wall, just like in that movie Divergent. I forgot who the actress was in that movie. It was like a competitor to Hunger Games. It was the same genre of dystopian future, like cyberpunk, like it's dystopian, but the technology's still advanced. So, yeah, it's a little bit like that here. You see these houses. So yeah, we just chat, and I'm a little bit what you call homesick. I thrive in those kind of environments. I tried to recreate that when I moved to Norway. I joined a company, Tieto Every, and they gave me a dumpster fire to work with, but we reorganized it. It was like this software that had, like I said in my other video, it had branched out into 5 different mutations, and they said, you got 1 year to fix this, or we're throwing this out and buying something from a third-party vendor, and everyone will be out of a job. So they gave me a €1 million budget in 1 year, and 2 years later, 3 years later, we had a team in India, Ukraine. I was selling consultants to clients in Sweden. Turned that around inside. It was like, it took two years actually. By 1 year, we definitely showed them that it's worth investing. We didn't succeed after a year, but we got enough in, and enough momentum was moving in the right direction. And by the second year, things started succeeding. And by the third year, it was a whole new business. So sometimes when you get these 1 year deadlines, only by the end of that first year, you at least have to change the momentum and show that they can wait another year, and then things will really be turned around. So what changes the momentum? That, you can scale the work, that you can get the right systems and processes in place, and that you're adding people. You're fixed most of the major problems. Usually, like when these softwares are failing, it's usually because of 2 or 3 things that are really causing a lot of pain. So you have to really attack those quickly. And you attack that both with the original guys, and then you hire some new guys, and you just get those wins. You get those little wins, and then the client starts saying, yeah, it's still not great, but it's better than last year. And that's where you want to be. And then things start going the right way. Then you just keep fixing, and then the incremental improvements are there, and you got to take measurements along the way too. So like you say, at the beginning when you join, you're doing the analysts are doing 150 cases a day or something, and then by the end of the first year, when you've gotten a few of these fixes done, it's like 200 cases a year, but there's still crashes and problems. But you say, okay, now we know what it all is, where all the problems are, and if we can get another year, we can fix all this. And by the end of the year, second year, output is doubled. There hasn't been any major incident, any major crashes or any major losses. We were dealing with credit card fraud prevention, so sometimes, ironically, my own card got cloned and emptied out in Vietnam. And the people called me from the fraud prevention department, and I said, yeah, it's me, Alex, I'm your manager, I'm your boss, and fix my card. So yeah, I even it was kind of a funny story. But yeah, so those things will still happen, but a lot less frequently. And luckily it happened to me and not a customer. But there used to be a time when people would put these cloning machines in the ATMs and they would clone your card and steal your PIN code. I think the security has gotten a lot better since then. They have all these patterns, but it can still happen. It can still, this classic kind of card fraud can still happen. So yeah. So EPAM as I brought that culture into Norway, but it ended up costing me my job because a lot of people weren't happy. It was, it was hard. It was high pressure, and I was turning up the heat. And in Norway, you can't really do that. I mean, it got the problem fixed, but once everything was fixed and in place, they were ready to, they were ready to show me the door and hand it off to a more a local manager. But it gave me a good career afterwards. I had some good war stories, and I understood how to handle crisis. But you have to be careful in the process. A lot of people, they get burned out, and you're calling people at 2 a.m. screaming because a customer is screaming, and that is a very American thing, to be very customer centric. And you'll notice in Europe, especially in Northern Europe and Western Europe, where there's a lot of labor protection and labor laws, that urgency is not there. You have a screaming customer, or you have people unhappy. They don't feel your pain so much. If you call up the customer support and everything, they're going to have a job at the end of the day. It's not so easy. Like, if the customers are screaming enough, and one person stands out as not being helpful, they usually get fired in America. But in Europe, it's a big process, especially after they've been there 3 months or past their probationary period. I think in Norway, probationary period is 6 months. And once you pass that, as long as you don't shoot somebody or, steal money from the office or something like that, I mean, even you can still do that. It's pretty hard to fire you. It's really, really hard. Even if you are doing something really wrong, but if you're not doing anything wrong, and they're just looking to lay you off because they don't like you, you don't fit in or something, then it's really hard. Then they have to buy you out. So here in Ukraine, they have something in the middle. I think you get protection here after 3 months, and but the pressure is still pretty high, like in America. But if you can handle it, you're working in a Ukrainian IT company, it can actually be pretty rewarding. The pay is not, as high as it is in Europe, but neither are your expenses. So, like in my situation, I have a paid off apartment here. In Norway, I would be having a mortgage. So, my money at the end of the month was actually a little bit more here because the expenses are very low. But, if you lose your job here, there's no NAV, the Norwegian welfare. To get you by. In Norway, you get like over 3,000 euros a month. And in Norway, that doesn't go very far. It sounds like a lot, like $3,500 a month, unemployment pay. But in Oslo, it doesn't go very far. And they're on your ass to, they're calling you every day. Did you apply for a job? Did you apply for a job? And you got to upload all the jobs you applied for and where you are. Did you get a response? Did you get an interview? So they're on your case, actually. It's a myth a little bit about this. In Norway, you get to slack off. It's only when the doctor writes a note, here's something else. I mean, it's like houses, and then this is like an office like you see in Chicago. Like just one of these like small engineering companies. They have a bunch of guys, draftsman tables. I remember that. And now it's like, houses, pipeline, railroad tracks, and it's just a lot of contrast here in Ukraine. Anyway, so back to this working life. So in Ukraine, it kind of feels good. The colleagues here, they're not as dramatic and outgoing and vivacious as I would say in America. Like your colleagues at the office in America are pretty lively and stuff. People here are more quiet, but they're your friends, I guess. They like when I left EPAM, I didn't know that so many people knew who I was, and the guy was like saying, it's really sad to see you go and everything. And I kind of missed that. I was working in a startup, and I'll talk more about that because I got a buddy over there still, and he's having a hard time, and I don't want to say anything about it, but startups are not. I worked with two startups, two Web3 startups, on a consulting gigs and everything. I don't know. I guess I just grew up in a different generation. Like, the objective of a company is to build something of value and get it sold and get revenue coming in. And I guess it's a bit hard to grasp, and that's how I'm running Restack. Now here's another building project. This is our room. This is another Avalon kind of building company. So Avalon is like number one, and I would say our room is number two. Let's just walk around and see what's going on here. But they're very high quality builders. I mean, you can see they have all this like German construction equipment. You see this like yellow supports and risers. You see this even in Norway. In Norway, actually, they have this company, Viadeca. They even have like robots and stuff setting this up and moving this. It's still a little bit manual here, but it is a bit German that they are using some modern techniques. Like in India, you see them using sticks to hold everything up. So here at least it's, this is going to be a good project. I mean, look at these balconies. One thing you want in an apartment is a big balcony. You can go out there and put fresh air. I mean, here people turn them into storage though, and hang their laundry. I mean, I can't say anything about it. When I was in Virginia Beach, there were people hanging their laundry on the balconies. So, yeah. I don't know. This is just turning into a new adventure here. So see, there's all these like old Soviet trucks here. You can see here. I just put my finger. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can see this. I'll have to come back and make another video on the other view and give you a walkthrough. Let me see if I can flip the camera. Yeah, so you have all of this here. It's like Chicago. You had all these like storage yards and warehouses and just goony stuff. And now they have some luxury apartments popping up. So yeah, this is the building company. Our room Spark. That's why I like Ukraine. It's like I say, there's just contrast. And in Norway and America, everything is in America it's all ticky-tacky. This wood framed houses with siding, and all the stores look the same, all the malls look the same. In Norway, it's more pleasant than the ticky-tacky look, but it does all look the same after a while. The buildings and the streets and everything. There's a city center. The center is a train station. In Norway, everything is like Legoland, like planogrammed. Here I walk down these tracks. Yeah, so the fence to get back home has been closed. Yeah, so there was like a opening in the fence here, so they closed that up. Someone had cut an opening. I mean, that's Ukraine, right? They have a habit of improvising, but let me see. Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. Our room is really popping up nicely. And then, this is Avalon where I live. My building is further back, and let's see if there's another hole, if someone made a new hole. Probably not. Now, these tracks are live. So if I was in America, or I get jailed in Norway, I'd get a fine and probably sent to a psychiatrist. But here in Ukraine, I just have to watch my back. These American libertarians and stuff that don't like rules and don't need the government and all this is your place, but it is America that's keeping this place going. So you should appreciate your government that they can make and deliver really great firearms around the world, really great weapons. That's what's. So like I said, centralization, decentralization, government authority. There's just a combination of this. So this is also very, there is a hole. Nice. Nice. I should have walked a little bit more. I would have saw this. I ended up walking all the way around, and it took me an extra 10 minutes to get to EPAM. Okay, this is nice. Nice to know. The hole used to be over there. Yeah, there used to be the big hole over there, and now now they're repairing it. So yeah, we call these guys the Bears, our new security guards here. They're the Bears. I just walk up and around, just see what they're doing. I don't like to be filmed. People here get a bit anxious, but they're fixing the hole in the fence. So yeah, that's just comparing and contrasting working in Ukraine, working in America, working in Norway. Yeah, you kind of want to have it all, right? You want the Norwegian working conditions, and you want the American salary. It's a bit higher, when you adjust it for cost and taxes. And then you want to live in Ukraine, where you have the Ukrainian cost of living, which, like I said, you could probably sell your car in America and already have and buy a comfortable apartment here. I mean, well, now apartments have gone up, but it used to be cheaper. I think you can get an apartment like I have, 72 square meters, about 750 square feet, almost 800 square feet, I think. It's around $130,000, but when I bought it and did the renovation, I probably put $80,000 into it. So, I mean, if you're like in your 50s like me, that's money you should have, and you can buy a paid-off place here. But yeah, you can get into another places in Ukraine. You can probably between $100,000 and $150,000, you can get a very nice place. And around $60,000, $70,000, you can get some older place, and you just fix it up. As the money comes in, you just do like a project every 2 weeks or something. You have a different project going, like your floors, your painting. Get new appliances. And you can do it that way. But yeah, you can live here. Now, just compared to like some big city in America, like you get a condo or something. $250,000, $350,000 for a decent condo at this standard. In Norway, in Oslo, to get 72 square meters at the standard I'm living in a good part of Oslo. Oh geez, here it's like a shoebox almost $1 million, I imagine. 700,000 to $1 million, and you're gonna borrow money and be in debt. But yeah, you have your nice Norwegian work environment, low stress, and everyone gets along, and usually they give you free lunch there. You go to the cafeteria, give you a pretty nourishing meal. So yeah, this is the life. This is the life. Yeah, like I said, contrast. You have that old shabby house right next to new part. I took you through a walk on that lot, on that house. Someone's going to become a millionaire from that. Someone owns that land, and they're going to develop it. There'll be something new and shiny. You get to be here as everything changes. So yeah, I do think long term, short term, there's some risks with investing in Ukraine, but long term, I think it's all good. You'll get your money. Right now, it's like a lot of capital controls, so you can't get the money out. If you go and flip apartments here, there's a lot of taxes, buying and selling, and then you can't export the money out legally. I mean, people just take it out in bags of cash or something, but it's real risky. You get caught, they'll confiscate the money. So, but I think if you're looking for a long-term place to park your money and get some crazy returns, because as soon as this war is over, there's gonna be a renaissance here. But anyway, that's all I got today. I've been going a long time. Take care. Bye-bye.